Good day everyone! This is Teacher Cherry. Sa video na to, i-compare natin ang given functions f of x equals 3x plus 1 at g of x equals 3x squared plus 1. Ang f of x equals 3x plus 1 ay tinatawag natin na linear function. Samantala, ang g of x equals 3x squared plus 1 ay tinatawag natin na quadratic function. Let's complete the table of values using the functions. Okay, ang first function natin is f of x equals 3x plus 1. This can also be written as y equals 3x plus 1. Pwedeng f of x or pwedeng y. Assign tayo ng values ng x. Okay, so pwedeng negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. And then, let's find the values of y or f of x. Substitute natin, first, negative 2. So, we have f of x equals 3x plus 1. Our x is negative 2. So, we have 3 times negative 2 plus 1. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 plus 1. Negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. Kapag ang value ng x natin ay negative 2, ang value ng y natin is negative 5. Okay, let's solve x for negative 1. So, f of x equals 3x plus 1. Substitute natin yung value ng x which is negative 1. So, we have 3 times negative 1 plus 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 plus 1. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. Therefore, ang value ng y natin kung ang x is negative 1 is negative 2. Next, ang value ng x is 0. So, we have f of x equals 3x plus 1. 3 times x is 0 plus 1. We have 3 times 0 is 0 plus 1. Equals 0 plus 1 is positive 1. Therefore, the value of y is 1 if x is 0. Next, find the value of y when x is 1. We have 3x plus 1 equals 3 times, ang value ng x is 1 plus 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1. Therefore, 3 plus 1 is 4. Ang value ng y is 4 kung ang x is 1. Next, find the value of y when x is 2. We have 3x plus 1 equals 3 times 2 plus 1 equals 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 equals 6 plus 1 is 7. Therefore, the value of y is 7. Okay, next, let's complete the table of values for g of x. Assign tayo ng values ng x. We have negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so let's substitute negative 2. We have g of x equals 3x squared plus 1. 3 times our x is negative 2 squared plus 1 equals 3 times Ang square ng negative 2 is positive 4 plus 1. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1 equals 13. Therefore, the value of y or g of x is positive 13. Next, x is negative 1. We have g of x equals 3x squared plus 1 equals 3 times x is negative 1 squared plus 1 equals 3 times square of negative 1 is positive 1 plus 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. Therefore, the value of y is 4. Okay, next, the value of x is 0. We have g of x equals 3x squared plus 1. 3 times 0 square plus 1. 0 square is 0 times 3 is 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. Therefore, the value of y or g of x is positive 1. Next, the value of x is 1. We have g of x equals 3x squared plus 1 equals 3 times 1 squared plus 1. 3 times square of 1 is 1 plus 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. Therefore, our y is positive 4. Okay, last for x equals 2, we have g of x equals 3x squared plus 1. We have 3 times x is positive 2 square plus 1. 3 times, ang square ng 2 is 4 plus 1. We have 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1. 12 plus 1 equals 13. Therefore, the value of y or g of x is positive 13 if x is 2. Okay, after nating makumpleto yung tables, let's find the differences between two adjacent values of x in each table. Unahin natin dito sa first table. Okay, so 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus negative 1 is 1. Negative 1 minus negative 2 is also 1. Okay, dito naman sa right side, 2 minus 1 is also 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus negative 1 is 1. Negative 1 minus negative 2 is also 1. Next, find the differences of adjacent y values in each table. Okay, so 7 minus 4 is 3. 4 minus 1 is 3. 1 minus negative 2 is 3. Negative 2 minus negative 5 is 3. For the next table, we have 13 minus 4 is 9. 4 minus 1 is 3. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. 4 minus 13 is negative 9. Kunin natin yung second differences ng y. 9 minus 3 is 6. 3 minus negative 3 is 6. And negative 3 minus negative 9 is 6. Okay, so ano ang naoobserbahan natin between the two functions? Kapag linear function, equal differences sa x leads to equal differences sa y. Okay, dito sa quadratic function, equal differences in x produce second equal differences in y. Okay, so ito yung first differences in y, ito yung second differences in y. Okay. So kapag given ang tables, titignan natin dito sa differences niya. Kung sa first differences in y ay equal, that is linear function. Kung sa second differences in y, that is a quadratic function. Okay, ang next natin na gagawin, using the table of values, igagraph natin ang dalawang functions. And then, compare the results. Okay, for the first function, we have negative 2, negative 5. So, we have negative 2 and then negative 5. Next, we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 1, negative 2. And third, 0, 1, we have 0, 1. Fourth, positive 1, positive 4, positive 1, positive 4. And last, positive 2, positive 7. After nating i-plot, i-connect natin yung mga points. Okay, so this is now the graph of our linear function. Next, let's graph the quadratic function. The first point is negative 2, positive 13. So, we have negative 2 and then positive 13. Okay, so, dito. Next, negative 1, positive 4. Negative 1, positive 4. And then, 0, positive 1. 0, positive 1. 1, positive 4. 1, positive 4. And last, 2, positive 13. Positive 2 and then positive 13. Okay. After nating i-plot, connect the points. Okay, so this is now the graph of a quadratic function. Okay, so as you can see, ang graph ng linear function is a straight line. Meanwhile, ang graph ng quadratic function is a smooth curve called parabola. Okay, so parabola ang graph ng quadratic function. Ang parabola ay pwedeng opens upward o kaya naman opens downward. Okay, so dalawa ang pwedeng maging itsura ng parabola. Opens upward or opens downward. Opens upward siya pag ang A is greater than 0, pag positive. Open downward kapag ang A ay less than 0. Okay, so let's have a recap. Paano natin ma-identify kung linear function or quadratic function? Okay, so kapag linear function, ang equation natin, ang exponent ng variable is 1. Sa quadratic function, ang exponent ng variable, ang highest ay 2. Kapag given ang table of values, hahanapin natin yung differences ng x at saka differences ng y. Okay, kapag equal ang differences ng x at nag-produce ng equal differences sa y, that is linear function. Kapag naman equal ang differences ng x, produce second differences in y, that is a quadratic function. And kapag naman graph ang given, ang graph ng linear function is straight line. Ang graph ng quadratic function is a parabola.